Well, if the shelter can hold my weight, then I'd say it's good for an overnight. Dub C here, we're back another Survival Saturday. So I'm out here doing another overnight, doing some more cold weather camping, and we got a ton of snow. So I figured, why not build a big old snow shelter? So I did. So I'm going to show some of the details on how I built that in just a moment. But while I'm always out here doing overnight, I like to review some gear and eat some food. So for the food, we got it, the 24-hour Average Joe MRE. I'm really excited to bust it open and see what we got. It has all kinds of cool things I've never seen before, and some things that I'm really excited to try. So Average Joe does have a YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below. You got to check him out. But I'm really excited to see what he came up for as far as items on a 24-hour ration. Now for the gear, I know you all heard about the Mega Bite, but what about the Mega Tea Light? So I'm going to be using these Mega Tea Lights to kind of see if I can warm up the shelter and give it some light, as well as have a campfire tonight, because one of the biggest problems of making the shelter is you get really wet or crawl in and out in the snow. I want to dry out. So I'm going to use some of the products sent to me from Hard Knocks 2000. He got some weatherproof matches that he made up, a kit, some fire starters. This is the cotton balls with petroleum jelly, and then the instant fire starter. And he has the accessory mega pack. So I'll really bust all that stuff open and see what we got. But I'll go ahead and cut to the footage of me making this thing. It took about 12 hours total to make this, so it's pretty extensive. And then we'll get everything loaded in the shelter. Okay, so it's time to build a winter shelter, snow shelter, also called a Quinzhee. I've heard about these. Really quite simple, but hard in the same time. So you stack a bunch of snow up, you let it compress for 6 hours or more, and you know, some say you give it less than that, but I would definitely give it longer time than just 1 hour. So you let the snow compress in a big pile. Then you kind of determine how big you want it based on how much snow you pile up. That's how much you can dig out. Now, there are suggestions such as putting stuff at the bottom of the pile, like your gear or inflated trash bags. So when you go to dig that out, it's less mass of snow that you have to pull out. So that's pretty interesting. I didn't do that, so that's going to take me a long time to dig everything out. This one's actually pretty big. I'll show some pictures about it now. There's also a lot of dangers with this shelter as well, such as you got to make sure there's proper venting, because it can cause like CO2 poisoning because it's pretty airtight. You also got to make sure that it doesn't collapse on you, because if it collapses on you, that's another big problem. I'm going to go ahead and start digging this out and see how far we get today. I'm definitely making progress, but this is the most time-consuming part of this shelter, is to dig this out, especially if you didn't put nothing to, you know, make it easier. So I'll just show updates on this, because this is going to take a minute. All right, so this is our progress so far. I'm digging. I lost daylight, so I set up my light. And going good so far. I got it so at least I can sit up and start digging. I want to try and pull my sled in here, fill the sled up, and shift it out. This is why it's really nice to have a two-person, so that somebody can kind of keep the snow going as you push it out the hole, because it only has one way to get out. So if I use the sled, I can fill the sled up, push it out, empty it, and then kind of refill it and go from there. And as far as identifying the wall thickness, you can find sticks about 12 inches, and what they do is you'll put them all around the surface area of the shelter, and when you reach that stick, that's when you know that that's a 12-inch wall. So that's a good way to indicate your thickness to walls and make sure you don't like overshoot and make a wall too thin, because your chances of it collapsing are much higher. Okay, we're back at it another day. This method's been the best so far with filling up the sled, kind of pushing it out. Make sure it doesn't hit my roof. And then I go out and dump it. Okay, I wanted to update progress inside. I actually got quite a bit of room now inside. I think I got that wall thickness to about 12 inches. I got to work on this wall, but it's actually quite roomy. It's actually quite a bit of, I got a little thin right there, but I'll patch that up and just kind of work around. But overall, a lot more room than I expected from this. My goal is to have a two-person kind of setup, but I'd like to have this side kind of open so I can have all my gear and stuff, and then that side I'm going to build elevated bed with snow, and then put a sleeping pad down, and then put my sleeping bag and sleep on that side. So a little bit more work to do, but the sled mode is probably working the best. Bring it in here and I'll chip off the snow and then pull it out, and that keeps everything pretty clean inside here. This is a shot from the entrance. You kind of go in, you can see how much room there's actually in there. Okay, we got a lot of man hours in this, but I got my spot for my bed elevated up, got a spot for my gear, and pretty much done. A few more finishing touches, and it'll be ready to go. Now you've seen how I build it. Like I said, the sled was a big help, and it's going to be a big help today because I just have all my gear already loaded in the sled, and I'm just going to pull it in, and I can unpack as needed. Supposed to have a nice small opening, but I can tell you what, if you're a little bit claustrophobic, that's a doozy getting through. Okay, we're inside. I'd say it's very roomy in here, and I started elevating the bed platform right here, and this is where I'm going to put down. I have the reflective tarp that I used in my hammock video. I'm going to put the reflective side down, and then I have a reflective mat, and I'm going to reflect that up. So I'm going to reflect the cold back down, and then under the mat itself, it's going to reflect my heat back up. So I'm going to see how that works out. But I'll go ahead and get that set up real quick. And I do have one vent hole cut here, and I might cut another one over there, because just make sure I have proper ventilation. Like I said, there's a lot of dangers with a snow shelter that you kind of don't figure. Obviously, you don't want it collapsing on you because you could possibly suffocate for that. But it also being so airtight, you got to have nice ventilation. And that's why I have the elevated bed. They're supposed to cut a channel to the door, which I have. It's much lower over here, so you're getting fresh air pulling through. And there's, like I said, it's quite roomy. I have the gear over here laid out, and this is my sled, and the sled's really big. It's probably easily 2 to 3 people comfortable. The bad thing about making it so big is you don't retain the heat as well. Like, you want to contain the heat into a little area. This is kind of big for one person, but if I have all my gear set up, I'm hoping that'll kind of condense it. Okay, change of plans. Like I said, the tarp was a little bit too big to lay out this by itself, so I'm just folding it in half and put the reflective side down and reflective side up. So I get the benefits of both. Now let's put the sleeping pad on top of it. Okay, I got the Teton negative 29 degree sleeping bag on top, and we're good to go. Now it's time to get some lunch from that Average Joe MRE. Okay, time to bust this thing open. One of the good things about inside the shelter is it sustains a temperature of 30 degrees, even though it could be single digits outside or even negative. So that's a really cool aspect of these shelters. And so, it's so warm, I got my coat off because it's started warming up real quick. I'm going to open this up. don't think there's a tear notch or anything. It's sealed up real nice though. So I'm just going to cut it from the side. Make sure I don't cut none of the packages inside. Alright, first thing, we got this awesome logo. I'm going to keep that, and it's going to go on the wall of MREs for sure. And then we have module. Oh, these are nice. He actually came up, he's got modules in these. That's great. So that's a breakfast module. So I'll save that for breakfast. We can actually see what's actually going to happen. And he's got the dinner module. So that'll be later tonight. Hopefully I have that by the campfire. And this is the one we're looking for. This is the lunch module. I really like how you sealed these individually. Okay, we got the 3 separate modules, and then we have a Canadian beverage bags with the Canadian flag on both sides. It's really cool. And we can open it up. Kind of see, this looks like all the condiments that would go with the ration and the drinks. So you can kind of pick your own. So before we get into that, let's look at that. We got some crushed red pepper. We have some moist towelettes. Looks like 2 of them. We got some sweet and low for sweeteners. We got a Nescafe, 2-in-1. One. We have a tea, another tea, hibiscus, and then a toothpick. It's really nice to have that in the ration. And we got our flag. We got some sugar. We got a Hawaiian Punch drink mix. That's really cool. Got another tea. Another tea. And then the flag. Some salt. Tabasco. And an IMP napkin. These are great out here. Okay, I left out the drinks I want for lunch. I got an orange mandarin tea. The lemon berry squeeze. Hawaiian Punch mix. And then I got some sweetener for the tea. So let's see what we got for lunch. Right at the bat we have a oatmeal raisin cookie. Sweet, delicious, and tasty. Oh, very cool. We got a rice. You can heat and steam. Basmati rice. Look at that. Hot Rod snack pack. That's really cool. Ooh, these are really nice. The picnic bars. Really awesome. I think this is a can opener. It's a really cool item. And then we have a retort pouch. It's Tuscan beef with cannelli beans, lentils, and vegetables. So that's going to be awesome over the rice. Okay, one bad thing about the shelter is I can't have a fire in here or anything really warm it up. So I'm just going to use the Dutch mess kit and my bisque camping gear stove. I'm just going to fill it with water and boil it like that for the Tuscan beef and the rice. I also forgot, sent a pack of silverware. I use this. So I'm going to use that. Mix up our Hawaiian Punch real quick. Got water all set. No tear notch. And I'm actually using the module pack as the trash. So that works out really well. One thing about being in a snow shelter, snow gets everywhere on everything. So if you're in one, you better love snow. Take a look at this cookie real quick. It's like oatmeal raisin. Looks like it's soft too. It's really nice. Let's go ahead and give that a try. Now that is an awesome cookie. The oatmeal raisin flavor comes real strong. I really like the grains. They actually have a nice bite to them. And it's very chewy. It's like almost like a molasses cookie. Really chewy and just really homemade flavor. It's a very good oatmeal raisin cookie. Let's try one of these Hot Rod. I don't know if they're candies. Oh, looks like meat sticks. They're high in protein. Let's try one out. Oh yeah, a nice little meat stick. They're not really spiced or anything. They just have a nice snap to them. And it's like a little sausage snack. It's really good. complements with a cookie, like sweet and savory. I'll go ahead and try this Hawaiian Punch out real quick. Oh, that mixed up really nice. It's a lemon berry squeeze. It tastes like definitely like a lemonade with like berries in it. Really refreshing. Not too sweet either. That's great. Okay, the main's ready to go. Now I'm warming up my tea water, but I'm using the French mess kit. I'm gonna put the rice in first. I got the rice all in there. Now we're gonna add the Tuscan beef. Just like that. Okay, well the main's cooling down now. It's actually got quite warm. I'm gonna make my tea up. Tea water just got done. A little bit steamy. There we go. Trying to tie out the basmati rice in the Tuscan beef. Be a perfect combo. I love the mains you can put on that rice. Alright, the Tuscan beef goes perfect with the rice. Has a nice zesty flavor. It has a nice, not spicy, but I could add the Tabasco if I want, but I want to save Tabasco for dinner, I think. Because this is still really good together. So great main. Now we're going to try this picnic bar out. I think I got a sample of one of these at one time. Looks like a bar with I think it's got peanuts in it, and let's see, milk chocolate, caramel, peanuts, crispy cereal, dried grapes. It's kind of all the good stuff in it. So we can give that a try. It's really good. Look at that. It's like got a little core in there, but I really like the sweet and salty flavor of the peanuts coming together. A little bit of caramel. Overall, great candy bar. And then I was going to put the sweetener in the tea, but it smelled really good just as is. It's that orange. So let's try it out. It doesn't even need any sweetener. It has a great orange, like a zest flavor to it. Really enjoyable. Definitely warms you up. And it goes perfect with like the candy bar, the oatmeal raisin. Overall, perfectly set up lunch. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and then I'm going to look for a spot for a campfire. All right, I found a nice spot for the campfire. Probably set up right here, just tromp down the snow. I'll have to find some pieces to cut up so I can set in here. Started collecting some firewood, and I started modifying inside the snow shelter, so I want to show that next. I got camp set up inside there, so when I'm done outside, I can just go inside, light a few candles, and should be good to go. Okay, I ran into a problem with the bed. The tarp underneath is super slippery, so anytime I like go to sit on it, it just wants to slide down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up some snow and create like a ridge for me to rest against. So I have like a nice, basically bed with a frame on it. And that way when I go to lay in it, it'll actually press against that. We'll see how that works. Okay, I still need to bring some of my gear in, but I got breakfast, the candle, a couple candles there, and my temp sensor. That's for, I can monitor inside temp and outside temp. So I got the sensor set up. I got a candle set up right there. I kind of put them in the walls. I'm going to see how well they work out. I got another one set right there. And then a third one right by me. And I also placed a light. And I was able to run the line down. I mean, it's kind of like living in Play-Doh. With the snow, you can mold it and do all kinds of stuff. And then I can just, if I need the light, if the candles aren't working, throw it on. But if it's working all right, I don't need it. But I got the vent hole here, like I said. I put another vent hole right there. And everything's set up. I think I've got the bed fixed. So there's a nice ridge on this edge to keep me from sliding out. It is still moving, but it's pretty solid. So I think we should be good. So now I'm ready. When it gets dark out, I should be able to come right in here, throw on a light, light the candles, and then I won't need a light. Now I just got to figure out, I'm thinking I'm going to use the sled, partially the sled as the door, kind of like block, because you never want to block the entire front off. You've got to have airflow. So I'd say block 3/4 the door. I think the sled will be really good if I just flip it upside down, put the back end into it, and I think it'll partially close everything up. And if I need some extra cover, I'll throw some like pine brush on it, but I think it should be fine. Okay, it's time to get a fire going. I spent all this time getting, I found some deadwood, deadfall bark, placed it on top of snow, got all my dry sticks and ready to go. And then I read the back of this, and this is the Instafire military grade fire starter. And then it says that I can straight up burns on snow and even floats and burns on water. So I'm going to take all this stuff out and actually try to start it with just on the snow. And it says it burns at winds up to 30 miles an hour. you know, lets wet wood. So let's put it to the test. Okay, I took the base away, I packed some snow down right there, and it says about an 1/8 cup will burn 5 to 7 minutes. I don't have a measuring, so I'm just gonna wing it. So I'm just put a nice pile there. Okay, it's a nice little pile. And if you don't have a lighter, you can always improvise with another tinder and a ferro rod. I'm gonna use the cotton balls with petroleum jelly, which I've used before, but this is the kit that Hard Knock sent me. It's got it sealed up with the, and bam, it's all stuffed in there. And cotton and petroleum works great. Say if I don't have a lighter, I can just ignite this tinder and it'll ignite that. This is a ferro rod that also came in the kit that Hard Knocks 2000 sent me. Let's go ahead and start this fire up. Petroleum jelly and cotton ball started right up. Okay, and ignited that tinder. And we are on top of snow, so I'll throw my sticks on top of that. See what happens. Yeah, it's burning on top of the snow, no problem. Okay, this Insta-Fire fire starter works great. It definitely burns on top of snow. It's still burning good. Really easy to catch fire. And now I'm definitely going to keep some of this for like when I go on rain trips or like when it starts melting off the snow, because stuff works pretty good in the cold and the wet. All right, we got a nice fire. Got some water warming up on the fire. Fire kit from Hard Knocks 2000 worked great. Now it's time to get some dinner. Okay, let's open up the dinner module from the Average Joe MRE. Let's see what we got. Okay, first thing we got, the Wise Company freeze-dried Maine noodles with beef and mushroom sauce. That sounds fantastic. It's a big serving. Wow, looks like this thing is 700 calories total just by itself. That's a perfect dinner main. And then we have an Oreo dairy milk. Looks like a dessert bar. That's really nice looking. And then a buffalo wing chicken stick. Oh, that's cool. I've never seen that before. Bet that's good. And then for the drinks, I'm going to have the organic roasted dandelion root, which is a tea. And then I didn't see this earlier. I think this is a vanilla sugar. So I think that'd be really good. And I got the crushed red pepper and Tabasco to spice this up. Get a look at this main real quick. Eat it in the pouch. Okay, that sound you just heard was my water tipping up over in the fire. So had to start that again. Sometimes if you don't find a stable log or it's burned through, it'll just fall. Anyhow, so let's take a look at that main. It's got the oxygen tab, you want to get that out, but definitely looks like a hearty serving. Got the noodles in there. Excited to get that. And I got a pouch that Flat Top Dave and LJ got me. They got a channel called Booger Butt. They review MREs. Really enjoy their reviews. Put that in the pouch. We'll get that ready to go. It's the best way to cook the freeze-dried mains. This pouch keeps it nice and warm. You can try the buffalo wing chicken stick. Looks like a a beef jerky stick, but it's chicken. Has a nice buffalo smell to it. Let's give it a shot. Oh, this is real nice. This definitely tastes like buffalo wings. It has that zest of buffalo. It has a little bit of spice to it. And you can definitely tell the texture of the meat and the flavor of that chicken stick. So really good. All right, we got our water done. Didn't fall over in the fire this time. Enough for our tea. And we should have enough for our main. Give it a good stir, always getting deep in those corners. Especially in these ones to get the powder stuck in there. Give it a good mix and we'll seal it and let it sit. Never tried this kind of tea or drink before. It's like a dandelion. So that's going to be really interesting. Just let that steep in the water. I believe our tea is done. Like I said, I think this is a vanilla sugar. Smell it. Yeah, it smells like vanilla. So I bet that's really good. Throw that in there. And like I said, I'm using this module bag as a trash bag, so I really like the concept. Keep all that trash in the bag. Okay, our main should be ready to try out. Got it rolled up in here. Still piping hot. Wow, that reconstituted really well. I put quite a bit of water in there. I was concerned that it was going to be too soupy. But it thickened up real nice. Look at that. Alright, going to go ahead and try this out. Alright, so overall this main is really good. It's got that, it's noodles with beef with mushroom sauce. It's like cream mushroom soup with beef. Something I used to make at home, and it's really nostalgic. It's a really good meal. I like things a little spicy, but we got crushed red pepper and Tabasco. So we can put a little heat to this just by adding the crushed red pepper. It's good by itself. Anybody that doesn't like the heat could just lay off the spices and really enjoy it. But I think this Tabasco and crushed red pepper combo will definitely turn it up for me. Let's add the Tabasco, I got the crushed red pepper, we'll give it a mix. And then try it again. Okay, add the spice to make it nice. Oh yeah, that definitely changes it up. And I was a little concerned that it will overwhelm the flavor and change it up, but there's so much of it, it actually just takes the heat and the subtle flavors of the pepper flake and the Tabasco, and it keeps that overall maintained mushroom beef flavor. So really good. Now we can try this Oreo dairy milk bar. Never had one of these. Looks like it's in modules. Yep, you can kind of break it off into candies. That's very enjoyable. It's not overwhelmingly sweet. It's actually very subtle. It's like a cookie wrapped in chocolate, or an Oreo cookie wrapped in chocolate. Really nice, smooth milk chocolate, and that crunchy interior is really good. Let's go ahead and try this tea out. This is the dandelion tea, I believe, with the vanilla sugar. Well, I'm gonna have to find some of this stuff. It's a very subtle flavor. It's in my opinion, kind of a balance between light coffee and strong tea, and it has like a palate cleansing, and that slight vanilla flavor. It's just a really nice, like it's something. I'm gonna eat all the food up, and I'm gonna drink this because it's like a good after meal coffee or tea. It just, you know, satisfies you and cleanses your palate. So that's really nice. Absolutely fantastic dinner. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up and sit by this fire and dry out. One of the main reasons I need this fire is, like I said, I don't want to be wet when I go in the shelter, because then everything will kind of, hoping it doesn't transfer into my second layer. But I got like all this ice frozen to my leg just from crawling in and out the shelter or laying on top of the ice. So I'm hoping this fire will dry me out, and then I can climb in, take off my gear, and get in a sleeping bag and be okay. Well, left my gloves away from the fire, and it dropped. It's about 10 degrees now. It's pretty cold, so they instantly froze solid. So I can't even put them on. So now I gotta let them thaw by the fire. Okay, it's time to seal up the shelter. So what I did is I flipped the sled upside down as kind of a space filler, stacked some snow bricks around it, and then dragged it in. And that way I can just kind of place them. It's not really sealed off tight because you don't want to airtight it. But I just got some ventilation holes and see if we can warm it up in here. It's currently about 28 degrees in the shelter. All right, closing off the door really helped. It's already 31 degrees inside and it's 6 degrees outside. So it's dropping fast outside. One thing that's crazy, look at the humidity level inside, 95%. They said the humidity really high on these snow shelters. All right, I'm gonna start lighting these candles up, see if that can, that way I can turn my headlamp off. I'm gonna be using the Hard Knocks 2000 weatherproof matches. Got a nice rubber seal on the top. This actually is like saran wrap almost. You unwrap it and then you can seal it right back up. So that's really nice. And these are reusable. So I'll go ahead and open that up. And it's got a bunch of weatherproof matches in it. And by weatherproof, I mean these are pretty stacked. Look at that. That's not going to go out in the wind or anything like that. So we'll get one out. We'll seal it back up. And then there's strikers on both the side and the bottom. That thing's rocking. We got 2 lit. That is a nice match. That thing is like a torch. Okay, I got all the candles lit. Those matches were intense. It was a little overkill for what I was doing, so I just used one because it also, like I said, with this being airtight, it kind of smoked it up in here. But got all 5 candles lit. Got some pretty good light. See if we can get some heat out of it. This is working out pretty good. Still about 31 degrees. And to be honest, 30 degrees is pretty warm to me compared to some of my other trips. I should be able to sleep just fine in this. And then I also have handy dandy CO2 detector. I always have this, especially in cases like, you know, it's kind of scary because I hear so many stories about suffocation or potential CO2 poisoning in the shelter. But I made sure I got a couple vent holes, and I'm not totally sealed off in the front. So if this goes off, I'll be getting out. Okay, got all situated for bed. I got my coat off, my overalls. Sorry about the light. These candles are giving off a nice bit amount of heat. Yeah, we're about 32 degrees, and it's 4 degrees outside and steady going down. So working out pretty good. I'm getting ready to watch Old Smoky stream. It's every Saturday at 8. So, and then also, since I'm eating Average Joe MREs, I actually got the socks on these sent me as well. Bam! Got some Canada socks he sent me. So, go ahead and tuck into the sleeping bag. At least the bed worked out where it's not flipping all over. And I got my backup light right here. So, if anything happens with the candles, I mean, obviously I don't know if I'm going to let the candles run overnight. So I'll have those basically set up to my backup light. And, yeah, I mean, everything's great. Good temp. Yeah, about 33 degrees. And I leave my hoodie out in case I need to cover my head. So I'll just throw it over my head if I get too cold. But I got my camp pillow. And just hope nothing collapses on me or no snow comes down. But snow is everywhere. There's snow all over my sleeping bag. I mean, I'm trying to stay wet or stay dry, but the tarp down is working. I got the mat down. Everything's working out pretty good, but to say you're not going to get a little bit wet or snow in a snow shelter, it's going to be hard for me. So I'm watching the Old Smoky stream. The one cool thing about being able to camp where I'm at is I actually got decent phone signal, so it allows me to watch YouTube and keep up with the internet. It's really nice to get away from the internet, but it's also really nice to have it. So Old Smoky streams every Saturday at 8 o'clock. He eats old rations, new rations, has a lot of history on him. He also has the show Eating History. So it's really cool. You should check it out. If you like it, subscribe to it. All right, it's bedtime. I turned all the candles off. I said it's still about 32 degrees, so it stays, and it's about 0 out now, so it's probably gonna get colder. This is actually really comfortable, and I'm not feeling any cold. The bottom of the sleeping bags, the reflection of with the tarp and the pads working great. But we'll see how good I sleep. So I guess this lights out. Okay, it's morning time. I actually slept pretty good. It's 6:40. It got to -6, but it's still 29 degrees inside here. So that's really nice. I just moved the candles over, kind of lit them up all over here, and then because I want to warm it up a little bit, and I want to make some coffee. I got to bust into that mega accessory pack that Hard Knocks gave me. He said there's coffee in there, so let's bust that open and see what we got. I've been trying to keep everything close by so I can just reach it, stay in my sleeping bag, because it's just nice staying in a sleeping bag. So even though it's 29 degrees, it's still a little bit cold out. So this is the accessory mega pack Hard Knocks 2000 sent me, and it's like a retort pouch and the seal on it. Got it sealed pretty good. I don't know if it's got a tear. Yeah, it's got a little tear notch. It's really cool. All right. Oh, nice. Got a whole set in here. So we got some creamer. Looks like 2 packs of creamer. Some sugar. Some toilet paper. Gotta have that in the mega pack. Got some gum. Some matches. Those matches worked a little bit better on the shelter last night because those stormproof were like kind of smoked it out. You know, like too powerful. All right, it's basically like 2 accessory kits. It's got 2 packs of gum, 2 sugars, 2 creamers, 2 toilet papers, 2 matches. Oh, there's some salt and pepper. That's cool. Some sugar, more sugar. Yep. And then, oh, nice. Got some Starbucks instant coffee. I think I'll be having that unless there's another kind in here. This thing is loaded. Oh, wow. Definitely more. So we got, this is a Colombian Starbucks, and I think this was a French roast. I think I'm going to have that French roast. And then 2 moist towelettes. So that is definitely a mega accessory pack. It has all kinds of awesome stuff in it, but I'm thinking I'm gonna make the Colombian coffee up real quick. Oh, I forgot to mention it does have a hot beverage bag too. So if you had an FRH, you can warm up water. Use the Bisquier camping stove to warm up my water. One thing nice about the setup is that nothing was really froze up that bad because everything stayed kind of warm in here and out of the wind. There we go. And got my Average Joe coffee cup and some Colombian coffee. Pour that in there. Okay, finally coffee time. Once I can drink some coffee, I'll start moving around, getting things going, but I gotta have my coffee. Oh, that's nice. Nice bold flavor. Not too bitter, but definitely a quality coffee from the Starbucks. It's a Via Instant Colombian. So overall, yeah, sleeping here, I think the hardest part is the bed. I always have a little bit of a hard time sleeping on the ground. Even with the pad, maybe I should have put an air pad in there. But overall, it was comfortable. And another thing that bothers me is every time I move, this thing is like real slippery on the snow. So I probably would stake down the tarp next time. But it's all lessons learned. I will say, do I think this is a viable shelter? Yes. But in the sense of having a temporary shelter while you build it. I would never go out there and just try to make a snow shelter unless I absolutely had to, because I think it'd be faster just to make like a trench shelter with snow, essentially just burrowing out a spot, and you can throw logs over top and you could have a fire in that too. It would be really hard to come out here, make one, and then stay the night in it. I mean, I know people do it. I know that it's possible, but not my thing. Not what I'm gonna do. Now, to set it up in like a livable status, yeah, I think it's possible, but you have to have that temporary shelter so you have somewhere secure to go while you're working on it. Okay, it's almost breakfast time, but because it's so cold outside, I'm just gonna eat the breakfast in the shelter, which is no big deal because it's warming up. It's like -4 out, but I definitely don't want to be exposed. When I have a nice shelter, I can just eat in here. Just waiting for a little bit more daylight. Okay, it's breakfast time. Time for the final meal from the Average Joe 24-hour MRE. Lunch and dinner was fantastic. So I'm really excited for breakfast. Let's see what we got. First thing we got, some freeze-dried strawberries. Looks awesome. Never had that brand. We have 2 packs of triple berry. Oh, yeah. 2 packs of triple berry Quaker oatmeal. We got the hamburger bun from the Canadian IMP. We got some raspberry jam, awesome. And some peanut butter. It's gonna be an awesome peanut butter jelly sandwich. We got some 2 bars. We got a fruit source plus veggie. That's really nice. Looks like this is wild berry carrot. And then we've got another fruit source plus veggie. And this one is peach. I believe it's peach and pear. Carrot. Peach, pear, carrot. And I got the drinks out from the drink accessory pack. So there's a coffee. And then this is I think a 3-in-1. It's got the instant coffee with whitener and sugar. And then there's 2 teas available. And with the 2 bars, you could actually take one of these bars, one of these teas, and have another snack for another time. So that's really cool. I'm probably just going to drink the green tea, and I'll save this one for later. And I'll just use the sweetener for this tea. I got my water warming up. Stove. Got the Canadian IMP bun, hamburger bun. I'm warming up the peanut butter also because I don't want to fight that. These bars I might have to warm up. They feel kind of pliable, so it should be okay. This is the peach pear carrot. Oh, nice. Very natural looking. Almost like a fruit roll-up. So they have a nice looking texture to them. I'm excited to try that one out. This one is the wild berry carrot. Like I said, I'm hoping they'll be okay, a little bit cold. If so, we can warm them up too. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this one out right now because I'm getting pretty hungry. Oh yeah, not bad at all. It's just like a compressed fruit, like a fruit leather, or snack like that. But it's got a really nice upfront raspberry, wild berry flavor. You don't really taste the carrot at all. It's like a really nice fruit bar, really enjoyable. You can tell it's mostly natural, and I can really appreciate that. Let's see if the peach pear carrot is better than wild berry. I don't know. Wild berry was pretty good. Let's try this one. Wild berry is really good. This peach pear is awesome. I really like pears. It has a nice upfront pear flavor, a little bit of peach, and like I said, they're very semi-sweet, not overly sweet, so very enjoyable. Get this bun ready for the peanut butter and jelly. Separated perfectly. Man, I wish these came in more rations. They're just so easy to use and goes good with everything. You can make peanut butter and jellies with them. You can make all kinds of stuff with them. Let's go ahead and try these freeze-dried strawberries out. And they are full strawberries. So that is really cool. I've seen bits and pieces, but the full strawberry, never tried. Let's give that a try. I love strawberries, and this is a perfect snack. I mean, all these elements so far are great for breakfast, but I've never had the full strawberry before, and it's really nice freeze-dried. Alright, we got our hot water ready, so time to make up the oatmeal. Make up the French mess kit real quick. Never had this triple berry before. It sounds really good. I'm just going to kind of set it in my French mess kit. Add the hot water. And let it stir. And the cool thing about the French mess kit, it actually has a top you can put on it and seal it up. So we'll go ahead and let that reconstitute, get all to the all berries. And we can make up our coffee and water, or coffee and tea. Nice little top. Okay, I got my tea made up. And let that steep, and then we got the coffee. Okay, I can get the snow out of my hamburger bun. And now for the sandwich, like I said, we've seen peanut butter and jelly, so much. it is a staple of a ration or MRE. It's very enjoyable, but I'm going to actually make this a megabyte sandwich. Because I haven't had a chance to get a megabyte yet, and I see a lot of components that will go together really good in this sandwich. So we're going to get that going. Theme to this breakfast is, you know, jam. There. Seems the theme of this breakfast is actually like berries. It's got the 2 fruit bars, you got the strawberries, the triple berry oatmeal, and I like the fact that they're all paired up like that. So you can kind of combine them and mix and match them. Okay, so we got our raspberry jam, peanut butter. I'm going to go ahead and throw a strawberry in there. Some of the freeze-dried strawberries for that crunch, and I love strawberries. And we're going to add some of this triple berry oatmeal for the megabyte sandwich. There we go. Close that up for now and let that oatmeal reconstitute the strawberries a little bit. I'm going to try this just by itself. So this is the triple berry oatmeal. The triple berry oatmeal by itself, it has like a sweetness up front and a tartness. So you can definitely taste the strawberries and I think blueberries. But overall, really good berry flavor infused within that oatmeal. Perfect for breakfast. Now, I'm going to wash it down with this 3-in-1 coffee. I always enjoy that 3-in-1 coffees. Now it's crazy because I typically like my coffee just coffee, no sugar and creamer. But when I get these mixes, the premixes, it's actually really enjoyable. So maybe I'm just not getting the right amount in. Now for the tea, that's all done. We're gonna throw the sweet and low sweeteners in there. And it's time for the megabyte sandwich. So we got some freeze-dried strawberries, the triple berry oatmeal, raspberry jam, peanut butter. All right, that sandwich is amazing. It is like a very hearty breakfast sandwich. It has all the sweetness of the berries, the raspberry jam, the strawberry crunch, the crunchiness of the freeze-dried strawberry, the triple berry oatmeal, and the peanut butter's got that savory. Overall, goes together so well. Let me wash it down with this green tea. It's really nice to have green tea in the morning. I used to drink it a lot more, but the lightly sweetened's perfect. Overall, fantastic breakfast. Each meal I ate from this ration just got better and better. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and we'll talk more on final thoughts. Okay, so final thoughts on the overnight, the gear, and the food. The overnight. Slept in a snow shelter. A lot of pros to this shelter, a lot of cons to this shelter. The pros is, no matter how cold it gets outside, you can typically sustain a temperature of 30 degrees inside. And I was -6 out last night and I sustained 30 degrees. It worked out pretty good. You can make it roomy, you can mold stuff in the walls. It's a pretty nice shelter. The cons, you can suffocate, you can collapse on you, you can freeze to death, and it takes a long time to build. Now, would I build one of these in a survival situation? No, but it's also my first time, so maybe with practice it would get better. Maybe some people are better at it and faster at it, but I'm going to pursue other survival shelters in a survival situation. But it was cool to try out. Now, as far as the gear, I tried these Mega Tea Lights. They're probably good for one night, probably 8-hour burn time. It works good for an overnight, but you're definitely need other lights if you get these. As far as the stuff that Hard Knocks 2000 sent me, he sent me the Instafire fire starter. Said it could start up a fire in snow, and it did. So I like products that actually, you know, stand up to what they say. And then his accessory mega pack was awesome. Got to drink some coffee out of that. Lots of stuff. It's like a really nice setup for being on the go. The ferro rod worked great, as well as the, I'm going to call these super matches. Weatherproof matches. These things are like torches. And you're not going to put those out if you tried, because the way they burn, just great. Now, as far as the food, we had the Average Joe MRE 24-hour. This thing was awesome. I really liked the fact that it was in modules, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast was my favorite. Each meal I ate got better and better, and really enjoyed each one. And now there is, like, you know, if you wanted to open them all up, you can make your own meals. But I really like the concept of be able to pop one out, eating, having what you want, and good. All the ingredients were awesome. Some of the things I've never tried before. Really well thought out. Average Joe has a YouTube channel. If you want to check him out, link will be down below. As well as Hard Knocks 2000. He sent me all that gear to try out. His link will be down below as well. But awesome ration. Enjoyed every meal thoroughly, and it was really cool to try new things. But just another great experience outdoors. Got to try something new. Got to try a new shelter. And it all worked out good. every, like I said, I got out here and I put the bed down and it was like I was sledding. So I had to fix the bed, and it's always got to find a way to adapt to the new situations, and that's how you learn. So that's all I got now. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.